Flame on! It's reviewing time! Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review with the recent updates on the new Fantastic Four movie with earlier this year when they announced the cast starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Ebon Mas Boss Backrack. I hope I didn't butcher the name. As well as the recent announcement yesterday that Robert Downey Jr. will be playing the MCU's Doctor Doom, as well as Chris Evans recently making his cameo as Human Torch in Deadpool Wolverine. I am here today to talk about the Fantastic Four films because I am in a mood for that right now. So yeah, I'm here today to review the first film. Today. Fantastic Four, 2005. So Fantastic Four 2005 is the second attempt at adapting the Fantastic Four comics, with the first time being the Fantastic Four 1994, which I heard some people say is the worst Fantastic Four movie, even worse than the 2015 And after hearing that, I've never seen that movie, and honestly, I don't want to. I never will. Anyway, so this film is directed by Tim Story, and it stars Ioan Gruffudd, Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, Michael Chiklis, Julian McMahon, Hamish Linklater, Kerry Washington, Larry Holden, David Parker, Kevin McNulty, etc. And so the film tells the story of four scientists, Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, and Ben Grimm, who are altered by cosmic rays, and this gives them powers. Gives them powers. So Reed Richards gains the ability to stretch his body. Sue Storm can become invisible. Johnny Storm can control fire, and Ben Grimm is it's turned into that thing basically made out of rock. So with their powers, the Fantastic Four pretty much become rejected by humanity. Humanity fears them and sees them as monsters. Mainly the thing. The thing is like the one that's being viewed as a monster, but this leads. This leads them to all the other Fantastic Fours to be rejected by society, and then they must now the team who is called the Fantastic Four must work together to be able to save the world and prove to humanity that they aren't monsters. And their first enemy is Victor Von Doom, who is Reed Richards' rival, who apparently wants to become better than Reed Richards, and he tries to do the same thing that the Fantastic Four did on how they got their powers, but except he becomes an evil supervillain called Doctor Doom. So now yes guys, I think as I mentioned earlier, the reason why I decided to review the Fantastic Four films now it's because of just my level of anticipation for what's to come with the new Fantastic Four. The moment this reboot was happening the moment this was announced to happen on Disney Investor Day, everybody got so excited for it. Everybody lost their minds, like, holy shit, Marvel is actually going to save Fantastic Four. They're actually going to do a good and proper reboot for once. Considering that Disney Investor Day was done when Marvel Phase 4 hasn't even started yet with their movies. That actually changed when the MCU started to get hate, and people started to like lose their interest in the MCU. Then they started to realize, Marvel's gonna screw up. The Fantastic Four is actually getting some backlash and controversy, mainly because one, they made Reed Richards into a Spanish guy with a Latino with Pedro Pascal in the role, and secondly, they made Silver Surfer a female with Julia Garner starring. Well, wasn't there already a female Silver Surfer in the comics? So yeah, and I know like some people are skeptical about it, but there are other people like me who are actually hyped as hell for the Fantastic Four. If you guys saw my video on the San Diego Comic Con, the previous video, I said that Fantastic Four is, as of now, my most anticipated MCU film of 2025. Yeah, my most anticipated MCU movie of next year. I mean, well, my most anticipated movie 2025 in general would be Zootopia too. But MCU wise and even comic book movie wise, yeah, it's Fantastic Four. But maybe Thunderbolts could take its place. Maybe Thunderbolts could take its place. I am actually thinking of putting Thunderbolts as my most anticipated MCU movie of 2025, but I'm gonna be waiting for a trailer first. I have to wait for a trailer for Thunderbolts to see if I can get more excited for it than Fantastic Four. But I mean, I just know that the Fantastic Four is going to be bigger, the bigger film that sets up the Avengers films, and maybe could even have Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. So, and also it's probably going to be one of the MCU's most visually stunning films. It's going to take place in the retro 60s. It's going to have a futuristic like set to it. So yeah, there's that, and yeah. And yeah, the announcement that Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Doctor Doom, oh man, yeah. That just blew my socks off. Yeah, screw the haters. Yeah, I'll mention Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom later on in the review, but yeah, I can safely already guarantee that MCU's Fantastic Four is already the best adaptation of Fantastic Four. Now, the only thing I don't like about the upcoming Fantastic Four movie is the subtitle, which is called The Fantastic Four First Steps. Like, really? Like, I don't like that. I'd rather just call it The Fantastic Four 2025, because, yeah, that's a much better title. But, but yeah, when I said, the first great and proper adaptation of Fantastic Four, I mean, there has never been one yet, because none of the previous Fantastic Four adaptations are good. And you even got the 1994 one, which I heard sucks. Well, to be fair, a lot of superhero movies in the 90s and 80s suck ass. Well, mostly 90s. Yeah, especially Batman and Robin. But even when Fox tried to adapt the Fantastic Four, it did not work at all. And yeah, especially with one of, if not the most hated superhero film of all time, Fan Force Day 2015. Which, yes, guys, I will do an extreme rant on Fan Force Day 2015. So yeah, get excited for it. But as for this first film in particular, 2005. Now, there is a fan base for this film. Yeah, there is a certain fan base of people who actually like this film and say that it's the only good Fantastic Four film. Yeah, there are some who say, like, the critics are wrong about this. This is the best Fantastic Four film and the only good one. And yeah, they like this film for how campy and fun it is and lighthearted. And they also do like the cast. And I can kind of see where they're coming from. But as for my opinion on this film, honestly, it's bad. I'm sorry, I don't like this movie at all. Well, hey, at least I didn't consider. At least I don't consider it a rant. At least I didn't title it a rant video. Yeah, so there's that. Now, yes, it's not like terrible, and it's certainly a masterpiece in comparison to Fan Force Stick 2015. But yeah, that does not mean anything, because to me, yeah, Fantastic Four, I am certainly siding with the critics on this one with their 27% of Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, this is basically the Spider-Man 3 of Fox Marvel movies, where it gotten panned by critics. Well, technically makes for Spider-Man 3, but Marvel fans defend it, and I personally don't understand why Marvel fans defend it. At least it's not as bad as Spider-Man 3. Now, yeah, on the plus side, yeah, there are some things that I actually do like about Fantastic Four 2005. So let's get into some positives here. Some redeeming qualities. Now, the cast is great, and all the actors who play the Fantastic Four members do a really good job. And yeah, Ian Grafund as Mr. Fantastic, really good Mr. Fantastic. I think he's pretty good as the he's pretty good playing a character. Jessica Alba as Invisible Woman, who is honestly the standout of the entire film. Yeah. Not only is Jessica Alba really hot in the role, but I mean, she proves that Sue Storm truly is my favorite member of the Fantastic Four. Yeah, and also you got Chris Evans as Human Torch. Okay, well, I will admit, back then, I did not like. I did not like Chris Evans as a Human Torch. I thought that he looked really weird playing Human Torch. However, after seeing Chris Evans as Human Torch cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine, it honestly made me appreciate the role in general now. And so looking back at Chris Evans as Human Torch, yeah, I will admit, I was actually way too harsh on Chris Evans as Human Torch. I think he is a great Human Torch. Well, not as good as Invisible Woman, but I would say Human Torch, Chris Evans as Human Torch is probably my second favorite performance in the film, second only to Jessica Alba. And then you also got Michael Chikli as the Thing. My least favorite member of the Fantastic Four, but at least the actor does a decent job. Solid. Yeah. When the team are cool with each other, they do give out a very solid chemistry. And usually, when it comes to a team a movie, chemistry is one of the things you're looking for. Because when you have a great chemistry, you can actually root for the team because they would actually work together perfectly. But yeah, with the Fantastic Four, yeah, I'm actually kind of a little mix on the chemistry. But for the most part, at least it does kind of stick the landing when it comes to how their chemistry is handled. The action scenes are good. I mean, I'll admit some of the action scenes are outdated, like the one on the bridge when Ben Grimm turns into the Thing for the first time, and then he takes over the bridge, and they fight him and all that stuff. Yeah, that did not age well. But I will say, the final battle with the Fantastic Four versus Doctor Doom, now that was awesome. Yeah, that was actually a great fight. It was actually somewhat intense. And I do like the film's themes of acceptance despite uniqueness. Yeah, sure, it's been done a lot of times when society would not accept someone who is unique, the main character who has something unique that stands out from all of them. But I mean, this film, they were done really well, and I do like how that actually kind of establishes individual characters a little more, like how society actually affects them, like how they respond to these people who react to them, view them as monsters, especially the Thing, who is seen as a monster, and everybody hates him, and they're afraid of him for that. So there's something. A campy and happy-go-lucky tone works for the film, works for Fantastic Four in general, because I guess Fantastic Four is meant to be like this. But the main problem with the film is that it's not fun. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the movie isn't fun. And my a specific reaction to this film? It is boring. Yeah, I might as well retitle this to Fantastic Bore. Yeah, this movie is incredibly slow paced and doesn't even have an interesting story. Well, considering that Tim's the director's last name is Story, I guess he doesn't live up to his last name, because a guy whose last name is Story should be able to come up with good stories, but not Tim's story. There are times when the chemistry between the Fantastic Four goes off the rails. Specifically, whenever they argue, due to how they usually act like immature, bratty children. Whenever they argue, like especially with the thing and Human Torch when they had a fight with each other, and they were so irritating. And yeah, the dialogue is so cringe-worthy. It felt like it was written by a 5-year-old. Okay, well, sure. Another thing I liked about this film, I will say there are actually some great one-liners from the Thing in Human Torch, with the Thing saying it's clobbering time, and especially with the Human Torch, saying "flame on." My favorite of the one-liners, these catchphrases. Like their superhero catchphrases. But other than those two, the rest of the dialogue, it felt like it was written by a 5-year-old. The visual effects are outdated as hell, especially with the CGI of the Thing. Good lord, that CGI. While I'm not a fan of the CGI from the Thing in the Fantastic 2015 film either, it does look more tolerable than the Thing in this film. In this film, and yeah, even the action scenes are dated as hell, which I already mentioned, except for the final battle. But worst of them all, the worst thing about this film is what they did to Doctor Doom. Oh my god. It's so obvious that Fox does not understand the character. Doctor Doom in the comics is supposed to be one of the greatest villains in Marvel history, who is meant to bring in a Thanos level threat. Doctor Fox turns Doctor Doom into an absolute joke. They've turned him into a much smaller scale villain, and he's not even threatening at all. I mean, heck. You do realize that Doctor Doom is actually the main villain of the Secret Wars comics? Doctor Doom is like one of the most powerful villains ever, and Fox decides to squander him like that. Yeah, he felt like a freaking joke, and this film features the worst of Doctor Doom. Yes, worse than Toby Kebbell's Doctor Doom in Fantastic 2015. I mean, sure, I don't like Fantastic 2015's Doctor Doom, but at least he looks scary. He looked menacing. It's just that the film decided to waste him. And, and Toby Kebbell did not look convincing as Victor Von Doom. I mean, what I mean by that is, he didn't look convincing that he was going to eventually become Doctor Doom and like a villain. And not only that, but a villain in the film. But what's even worse than Doctor Doom in this film is the man behind the mask himself, Victor Von Doom. Oh my god, seriously. Julian McMahon gave such a laughably atrocious performance as Victor. He never shows an expression once, and even when he's supposed to, he just keeps a straight face all the way through. Even if he's supposed to be like super angry, he starts an argument, he still like has this ridiculous expression that just makes me laugh at how bad his acting is. And to all you people hating on Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, at least admit that he's gonna be the best of the Doctor Doom and give him a chance. At least Disney, Marvel, Kevin Feige, and the Russos actually understand the character that Doctor Doom is supposed to be a massive and scale villain, and they already did it right by putting him in an Avengers movie and making him a Thanos level villain. So overall, Fantastic Four 2005 is certainly a masterpiece in comparison to Fantastic 2015, but it is not enough to save itself from just being a very dull and boring film. At least it tries, unlike the reboot. But yeah, it's ultimately forgettable. So with that said, I'm going to give Fantastic Four 2005 a 2 stars out of 5 mediocre movie. So also for my review of Fantastic Four 2005, yeah, say what you want about the MCU reboot coming 2025, but I guarantee you it will be the best Fantastic Four movie. I hope that there won't be anyone who would say one that the Fox Fantastic Four movies is better. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Fantastic Four 2005? Do you defend and enjoy this movie, or are you with me that this is a pretty bad and lackluster movie? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer. I remember preferring it over the first film, despite not by much. But let's see if it can hold up as being better than this film, slightly better. So yeah, bye guys.